Speaker Adams!
Good job!
Speaker Adams!
Good job!
Clean air! Speaker Adams!
Clean air!
Speaker Adams!
Clean air!
Speaker Adams!
Clean air!
Speaker Adams!
Clean air!
Hold your sign correctly! Hold your sign correctly!
Thanks everybody for joining today. My name is Chris Doles. I'm here on behalf of the Abbey Collective, the Alternative Buildings Industry Collective, which is just one of the many organizations represented here to stand up for the climate, for the environment, for good jobs, for cheaper utility bills, and ultimately for a little bit more democratic accountability against an administration that seeks to gut laws that this council passed in favor of real estate interests. And while we do have great hopes that the next administration will be willing to, by regulation, reverse the regulations that this administration has imposed to gut Local Law 97, we think the right way to do it is by law. And that's what Intro 1180 is all about. And we're here today to demand that that Speaker Adams, the Adams with a political future in this city, actually make that happen, introduce and enact Intro 1180. Woo! I'm gonna just introduce the speakers, folks from the coalition, our champions in City Council. I'm gonna start with Council Member De La Rosa, who is not only one of the biggest champions, but also the prime sponsor of Intro 1180. So let's give it up, a warm welcome to Council Member Carmen De La Rosa. Thanks for all your
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. Woo! Not the MTA happy. But I'm Carmen De La Rosa. I am proud to sponsor Intro 1180 alongside my colleague Lincoln Bressler. I also would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Chris Martin, who's here as well. And this wonderful coalition of activists, community leaders, and organizations who understand the urgency of right now. And that's why we are here. This bill has 22 sponsors. We're almost there. We need a few more, but we're almost there. But 22 is a good number, given that there's only 51 of us. And it signals that this council is ready to move on this important legislation. And I'm going to talk about why this legislation is important. The council before we came in passed Local Law 97, watershed moment for our city. Woo. But unfortunately, Mayor Adams and his administration have done everything they can to gut Local Law 97 and basically make the law have no teeth. I firmly believe, and I know my colleagues firmly believe, that the main role of the City Council is to be a checks and a balance to the mayor's office, especially when the mayor has proven to be a hack of corporations in this city who want corporate giveaways in exchange for the health and well-being and the jobs of working people in our city. And so, but we're saying goodbye to that chapter in New York City history. And we also, in this moment as a council, have to stand even more steadfast to helping our city achieve its goals. And I don't know about y'all, but there isn't a more dire, more urgent need than reaching our climate and resiliency goals.
Right on.
Seconded only by the need to ensure that we're creating good, green jobs. And I'm the labor chair. We're about to go into a hearing. And there's something that is really missing in that conversation. And it is Intro 1180. So we are standing here because we are clear that we must pass Intro 1180 in the next whatever amount of days we have left in this council. They're not too many, but if we focus in on priorities and the priorities that our communities are asking for, I believe this council will make a difference. And so today we're standing here to call on Speaker Adams, to call on our colleagues to help us bring this bill to the floor. And I believe that when Intro 1180 is passed, it will ensure that our biggest polluters, those who can buy their way out of rooms and into rooms, will not be able to buy their way out of continuing to pollute our city, will not be able to buy their way of not creating the jobs necessary to move our economy forward. And so I'm committed to this. I'm committed to this bill. I'm committed to this movement. And I hope that they can hear us loud and clear. Intro 1180 is a solution. It is not a problem. It is a solution to a dire crisis we are facing right now. Thank you all for being here.
As Councilmember De La Rosa said, 1180 is critical. It's critical to making Local Law 97 what it was meant to be, what the people of New York want, which is for New York City to lead on climate politics at a time when our whole country seems to be abdicating its leadership role on climate politics. And so New York has the opportunity to continue to carry that mantle, thanks largely to the work of not just the council members who support this work, but all the organizations who have been just steady and here all the time for years to make Local Law 97 pass in the first place and to continue to stop those who try to gut it from the real estate interests. One such organization is NYPIRG, and Damien from NYPIRG is going to tell us why they're here today to support Intro 1180.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Damien, NYPIRG's project coordinator at BMCC, and every day I organize CUNY students who are concerned about the climate crisis. One easy, quick stand our city council could take is to schedule a hearing for Intro 1180 so we could pass it this session to reduce building emissions. New York has been a global leader on climate, with our nation leading Local Law 97, but we need to keep going to deliver the full extent of the benefits. 1180 will bring cleaner air and lower utility bills. This is an environmental issue, a public health issue, and an economic issue. When wealthy building owners are free to write blank checks on their pollution, it's the lower income New Yorkers, particularly communities of color, that are paying that price.
That's right.
That's right.
At a time when the governor is considering approving new fossil fuel pipelines and walking back on the climate law's mandated benchmarks and the full-out assault from the federal administration on the environmental protections and renewable energy, it's up to our city council to defend New Yorkers and solidify our green future. We call on the council to protect Local Law 97 and close the landlord loophole with 1180 now. Thank you.
So, for all the lies that the real estate industry tries to tell about Local Law 97, about the need to clean up our buildings, we have, for every one of them, there are 10 of us activists, community leaders, who are out there trying to counter their lies. One such champion is our District 1 council member, Chris Marte. Will tell us about. Chris Marte has been at the front lines and championing this cause and being willing to take the fight to the real estate lobby. So, Chris Marte, tell us why you're here to support Intro 1180.
Thank you to all the, sorry my voice is been after this weekend, but thank you for all the organizations, nonprofits, advocates who are here. Let's give a huge shout out to De La Rosa for as well as Lincoln Wrestler, who's not here, but we all know he's on our side. He's a true fighter. We're here because we can't wait. The earth, these fossil fuel owners, people who are terrorizing our rainforests, our oceans, and our cities aren't waiting for us to pass this bill. They aren't waiting to see, oh, what is the city council gonna do to limit it? They're gonna move forward, and they're gonna move forward fast, and they're only gonna put profit over people because that's what they know, and that's what motivates them. But we're here today because we wanna fight for the people. We wanna make sure that they have clean air, good jobs, green jobs, and make this city a greener city.
Yes.
And we're talking about fair share. Right now, there's low-income communities on the coastline of New York City that are paying higher flood insurance prices because of the climate crisis. So why can't these big developers like Hearst, and Bill Ackerman with his portfolios of real estate deals in New York City pay their own fair share to meet the demands. And so that's why we're here, to not only stand up to developers, but to tell our speaker to do the right thing. Do the right thing for workers, do the right thing for low-income communities, and do the right thing for the future of New York City. Thank you so much.
When I say Speaker Adams, you say clean air. Speaker Adams,
Clean air!
Speaker Adams,
Clean air!
We need Speaker Adams to bring Intro 1180 to a hearing, to get it passed, to give Local Law 97 the teeth that it had on day one, and undo the work that Mayor Adams has done to undo the protections of our air, and to bring down the cost of our utility bills, and to return New York City to the status of leading the climate fight internationally. Last two speakers represent a couple of the organizations that have really, been here throughout. First, we're going to hear from Ken from Food and Water Watch. Ken, come on.
What do we want?
Clean air!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Clean air!
When do we want it?
Now!
About the water, Ken. It's food and water one.
My name's Ken Schless. I'm a Food and Water Watch volunteer leader.
Woo!
Local Law 97 is the world's most powerful urban law to tackle the climate crisis. Enacted in 2019 in recognition of the existential threat climate breakdown represents to New York City, it set in motion the elimination of fossil fuel pollution in New York's largest buildings by demanding retrofits to antiquated heating and cooling systems. Disgracefully, as the law's timely and measured provisions were being implemented ahead of schedule and with near universal adherence, corrupt Mayor Adams, at the behest of real estate lobby, administratively gutted the law, allowing polluting landlords to purchase compliance instead of actually eliminating pollution. It's past time to rectify the mayor's offense against the health and welfare of current and future New Yorkers. We call on Speaker Adrian Adams to immediately hold a hearing on Intro 1180.
That's right.
Enact it into law and close the landlord loophole. Mayor Adams' gutting of Local Law 97 is a textbook example of the corporate capture of a corrupted city government. Instead of faithfully protecting and implementing Local Law 97 as passed by the City Council in its wisdom, the Adams administration has unceremoniously administratively eviscerated it. In a more vigorous democracy, this administrative transgression amounting to billions of lost dollars in construction projects and wages would be called out with vociferous indignation, scorn, and condemnation. But the City Council has been slow to respond. That a hearing was not quickly called when our foundational climate law was defanged is, to me, an outrage. Where are our champions of good government? Where are the protectors of environmental integrity for future generations unborn? In this lame duck session of City Council, it is past time to rectify the mayor's indiscretions. Greenhouse gas science dates back 200 years. The fossil fuel industry's scientists tied its own century-long culpability to atmospheric warming in the 1950s before then waging deceitful campaigns of disinformation and denial, repudiating climate science and scientists, poisoning our air and our politics. 75 years on, with our planet and political institutions ablaze, it's past time to make a stand against the multi-headed crises of a corrupted democracy, corporate capture, environmental injustice, climate breakdown, and perpetually escalating utility costs. In 2019, New York City declared a climate emergency. It's 2025. We must stop adding fuel to the fires that make our public crises worse, uphold our just laws, and modernize our antiquated building stock. Speaker Adams, call for a hearing on Intro 1180. Stop this nonsense and restore Local Law 97. Pass Intro 1180. Protect futures.
You know, there are some politicians you learn all about in the news because they're corruption trials, and there are those you get to know because you turn out and you come to make a difference, and you find them on the front lines of the change. And that's what I have to say about Tiffany Caban, who I first met at these rallies for Local Law 97. Was here today to show her support for 1180. Tiffany Caban, come on.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Y'all are some of the most fiercest fighters in existence, so it's always a good time and a pleasure to stand with you. So proud to stand with all of you, with Councilmember and Chair De La Rosa, to demand climate justice and housing justice, right? When we fought for Local Law 97, we should have won a nation-leading law that said New York City would hold the biggest polluters accountable and create good green jobs in the process. But at the behest of his big real estate donors, Mayor Eric Adams, now we know, not maybe, but will be one-term Mayor Eric Adams, carved out a loophole that gutted that promise. A loophole that lets the wealthiest landlords pollute our air, destabilize our climate, and drive up costs for working-class New Yorkers. And Intro 1180 closes that loophole. It restores the law's teeth. And it makes clear that in the city we will not put the profits of polluters over the health of our people, over the future of our children, or over the survival of our planet. So let's keep fighting for a greener, safer, more just New York City. Thank you, and again, always proud to be here.
I'm gonna jump in. All right. Okay. Cool. I can save time this way. My name is Pete Segura. Thank you, Tiffany. We really appreciate it. Thank you, council members. I'm with New York Communities for Change. I'm our Climate and Inequality Campaigns Director, and thanks everybody for coming. That sign is really apt here about to what I'm going to say. Would you mind coming up here with it? It says, "Stop the dirty energy perps, support Local Law 97." Come in here, because I don't know if people realize this, but there is now a super PAC that has entered into the mayor's race to spend $1.3 million to destroy Local Law 97. We just read that in the New York Post, in the New York Times. That's now happening. They're going to spend $1.3 million to do it. Who is this? Betsy McCoy Ross.
Hey.
Yeah, Betsy McCoy Ross of Death Panels fame. She's the person who created that slur against the Obamacare law, against the ACA, that it would put people to death. That's her, right? She was Lieutenant Governor for Pataki. Her co-conspirator on that super PAC is Ray Kelly. He of Stop and Frisk fame. And it's a bunch of those characters. Real estate, Wall Street, that's who wants to gut Local Law 97, and that's who it tells you why we're here. We're on the right side of history. We don't have that kind of money. Right? We're the people. We have to fight to get what we need. And we won to pass Local Law 97, and right now it's working. 92% of buildings, as of data from 2 years ago, are following the law that kicked in last year. So that's a huge improvement from when the law was passed. Buildings are cleaning up, jobs are being created, utility bills are being reduced through energy efficiency. It's a big success. To keep that going, we've got to close this loophole, which threatens in the future to weaken or even gut the law, because 85% of the pollution from office buildings in particular could be offset by buying RECs. So we could lose 85% of the benefits of the law from office buildings, which is why the Real Estate Board of New York and these clowns wanted that loophole. So Eric Adams obliged them. He used his regulatory power improperly to set this loophole into place. I served on the advisory council for this law. We had a very specific proposal in a report, consensus recommendation. The mayor disregarded that. So he's corrupt, he's going. It's time to turn the page. It's time to pass Intro 1180. So let's close out the rally, maybe with a rousing chant of...
Let's thank Chair De La Rosa. Councilmember Marte. Councilmember Caban. All the Orange New York Communities for Change, Pete, for your leadership. Food and Water Watch, the Abbey Collective, Nightbird, and all of you city.
Let's go testify.
Let's go
Whoever
testify.
says-
All right.
All right, that's it. Log off.